We have 2 stencils, as is our guarantee to you. We have a diamond pattern, and we have clocks and a grid and some wonderful projects. As a matter of fact, this is one of them, and that's quite unexpected, I think. Won't you please come play with us? Well, Stencils and Such is a ongoing category for us, and we just think that there are so many things you can do with stencils, and we set out to prove it to you. So every month we bring out 2 brand new stencils, and then we set out to explore them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with this one, the diamond pattern, and Debbie has created this one. And as a matter of fact, then Lene has done this one, and I think you can see that those are 2 very, very different looks done with the same stencil. So that's fun to do. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to get started with this one. So Debbie has taken this stencil. Now this is, oh goodness, I should have measured it. Let's see, do I have a ruler right here? I do. Okay, this is, let me get away from the centimeters and into the inches. Hard to do it with black on black, isn't it? This is almost 4 inches by 8 inches. Okay, now my card is 5 by 6.5. So what am I going to do? Now Debbie did have her diamonds go the whole way, so let's find out what she did. Now I'm first going to put my craft mat down, and so I will put that there, and I'll put my card, and I'm going to place it so that my my fold is on the left. Okay. And I'm going to take my diamond and put it like so. Now, of course, it's going to extend over the edge of my card. And I'm going to put my low-tack tape on the stencil like so. And I'm just going to let that hold my stencil in place while I make sure that my card is in place too. Now I'm going to start, well, I should show you this, shouldn't I? My 2 ink pads, one is Buttercup and one is Orchid. And I think when I bring this back, you will see that Buttercup is right there and Orchid is there. They're kind of both in there. Okay. Now I'm going to start as Debbie has told me, and I'm going to start with Buttercup. And I'm going to go over my card. Now, I'm not going to complete the whole card because it's not exciting to see coloring it the whole way. I'm just going to do part of it. So I'm going to do exactly what Debbie tells me in the instructions, which, by the way, are down below on the listing of materials. So I'm just going to use the blending tool. This is a tool, not a blending brush, you will notice. This is what Debbie and Lene like to use. I like the blending brush, but you know, this is their project, so I'm going to use the tools that they like, and I'm just rubbing this on. So in doing this, obviously, I'm going to have white diamonds, and that's going to work. So there we go, just rubbing this across. And of course, you would be doing it on your whole card, right? And here we go. Now, in doing your whole card, you would then be moving your low-tack tape, okay? So just want to make sure that everybody's working on the same premise. Okie doke. Now, Debbie says to then, let's see, I'm going to look at her note, and she says, then place the mask in the card vertically and use the blending brush to cover the entire card with blueberry, and then move this stencil. Okay, we will remove the stencil, and then move the mask so the diamonds cover the blue area. Okay, there are the diamonds. Oh, I can move that up. I don't have to make it. Okay, so then I'm going to hold that back down and and the white area is exposed, and then go over that with the orchid area, with the orchid ink. Now, I had blue on here, and I will now change my pad for a clean one. And we do have replacement ones, by the way. And of course, these have Velcro on them. And so now we'll just do this with orchid. And your same thing's going to happen. Clever way to get colors going on, isn't it? And it just goes very quickly, especially when you have a little bit of confidence and you're not worried about it. Now, when you get to this area, you just want to make sure that you're not going over into the blue, okay? Now, over into the white, I suppose you use very much with orchid to go over the white, leaving the two side blues and remove the mask. Then we're going to remove this again. And I want to point out to you what, okay, so there we, oh, look at that. We've got this white area. How fun is that? Okay, now, Debbie said that she's got some gold on here. Look, can you see that? There you go. Yeah, I think you can see it now. Now, if you are familiar with us and you watch our What's New Wednesdays, you know that we got these fine gold pens. They're fine tip pens, and it's so much fun to play with. So you can use them here, and that's what Debbie has done. So you can, and this is what she said, you can use this in the white areas. So with the pen, you want to shake it up, and you want to reuse the mask. And actually, I guess what she did is you want to place the mask again over the blue diamonds. Okay, Debbie. And, okay, I keep wanting to have them too low. So I'm placing the mask over the blue diamonds. And I guess I want to put the stencil tape down again. And then you can use the gold pen to trace along the outside of each diamond. Let me just show you how fine tip this is. Look at that. It's super, super fine. So then we are going to go along the outside edge of each of the blue diamonds. Okay. Well, that's easy. Well, that's a lot easier than doing it with a ruler. Okay, well, I'm going to stop and just lift this up. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, here we go. I'm going to lift this up and show you. Can you see? So it is neato. Wow, wow. And what you get is a very smooth line. Great, okay. Well, much easier than with a ruler, I will say. So that is a great way to do it. And then you can go back and place it over the orchid diamonds and repeat. So great way to go. And oh yes, we do have it in silver too. Okay, so, and I love it because they just came out with these when we bought them, so that was great. And if you get it on your stencil, you can just wipe it off. Baby wipe will take it away, and so that's great to know. And what else she used on this card, by the way, just so that you have the complete information, is that, so that was the background. She also had some teal ink pad, it looks like to me. And she also used right here, this piece and this piece and this piece were out of Botanical Library 6x6. So there are some beautiful artwork. So that's there. This is one of the pattern pieces. This is one of the cutouts. And she matted them on, this is Miri, a gold Miri cardstock. So you can see how that echoes the gold ink pad, or gold ink pen that was used. And then she also used the gold Miri on the Botanical Library cutting dies. You can see that piece was placed right there. Isn't that gorgeous? And then she used a little bit of the blueberry ink right in the center. So everything coordinates perfectly, as you would expect from Debbie. So that is our very first project using the brand new stencil. So now we're going to take a look at what Lene has chosen. Now there's a lot going on our second card, so let me just show you what's happening. As you know, we're going to use our diamond stencil, and our card has got, well, number one, this is our tent slimline card. Comes in a package like this. Being a tent card, that means that the fold is at one short end, just like that. And it is using a pattern cardstock. And this comes from a set that is called, right here, it is called Golden Botanical. Looks like this. That's some of them. The sheet that this comes from, and let me show you the whole sheet, including the part that Lene cut out. So here is the whole sheet. Let me try to hold that there. You can see it's just golden and botanical is really a good name for it, isn't it? So that's a 12 by 12, and then I've cut this piece, which is going to fit on the card. Now this sheet that I've cut is a little bit larger than what Lene used, but so let me just put it here. And she's done a couple of things to it. So to begin with, she inked the edges. This is using cocoa bean, and she just wanted to make them a little bit darker. So we're just going to gently go right around the edges just to bring those, just to shade them a bit. So just like so. And as you can see, it's just darkening those a bit. Now you do want to have these, the pattern cardstock a little bit smaller than your card. So that's, that's fine. You want to have, in fact, you can see what she's done here. So she has the white edge of the card being like a mat around the patterned cardstock. So that's fine. I'm not going to go all the way around because, you get the idea. Okay. So we'll just turn this, and I'll turn it like so. Then I'm going to take that off. Okay, so that's what she did there. Then I'm going to use khaki, which is a green, and you see the green that's on here. And I'm going to use that to go over the diamonds. And the diamonds, she placed a little bit off center. And as you know, we can hold down the diamonds like so, and we can also hold the card down at the same time. So that's kind of neat. So this is just going to be done kind of in the middle. And again, I'm going to look at the card, and you see how it's not up here, it's just down here. Okay, so I'm just going to go over that area with khaki. And it's interesting because with this particular stencil, the area that you're coloring is the open area. So it's just kind of interesting because you're not getting the area that's black. You're getting the area that's uncolored. Okay. Now I'm just going to leave it like this, just like Lene did. Now I'm going to leave this right here, and I'm not removing it because you'll notice that there is some gold right there. There's also some gold on this khaki doily. Now the doilies come in a package of, I believe, 20. So what Lene did, and I'm just going to scoot this over, and I'm going to need to have some more of the low-tack tape that is somewhere on my table. There it is. Okay, so I'm just going to press this down also, just to hold it in place. Okay. So what Lene did is she put on both areas some tacky when dry. And tacky when dry is just the most fabulous thing. It can be put on with a palette knife, but in this particular instance, Lene used the blending tool and placed it on. Now this does need to dry, so I am going to place it on here, and then we're going to go on to the next project, and then we'll come back, okay? So, because it does need to dry, so I'm going to, and I'm just going to place it on the curved area of the doily, and I'm going to place it over the green area on the card paper. So let me open this up. And this is the company, this is Crafters Warehouse, and this is, they make stencil butter, and this is kind of like stencil butter. It's just very soft and creamy and wonderful. And okay, so I'm just sponging this on. Sure that I've got some there. It's okay, so I'm just doing that. Then I'm going to go back here and go over this. Now, the only thing that you need to really be careful is that when you do this is to get your stencil into water, because you do not want this to dry on your stencil. So I have a pan of water sitting over here that I will plop this in as soon as I'm done. Okay, so it's just a light application, and I will also take that sponge off and put that in water too. So that goes in, and my sponge goes in, and then my stencil goes in, face down into the water. Sponge is face down. Okay, now that is going to, both of those are going to dry, and it doesn't take very long, especially that was a very thin application. While we're waiting for this to dry, I am going to show you a little bit about the card itself. Okay, I'm going to scoot this over. And it is under the hot lights. Okay, the other things that are going on, in the corners, there are corner dazzles, corner peel-offs. And they come in a package like this. These are all gold, and there are 6 sheets in here. And you can see, I think I'm going to have to open this up just so you can really get a good look. And I was very happy that yesterday we were out of these, and today they arrived. So I pulled them off the loading dock, literally. And the ones that are right there are these curly ones. Let's see. They're right there. Okay. So can you see them? Right there, and I think they're these, and we just got these in black also, so they just nest right into the corners, as you can see. And then to finish off the corner, what Lene did is she added our straight line dazzles. So you can have the corner and then extend out the straight line to finish off your card, which I think is pretty doggone brilliant. Okay, so there are, as I said, 6 different corners in gold, and then you can do the gold straight lines. So that works nicely. And the other thing that she has done, so I'm just going to tuck that over here to add to my pile. In the Golden Botanical, there are also dies, big surprise. We've got the ginkgo leaves, but we also have some sprays of leaves that are very nice. We also have some Queen Anne's lace, which are lovely. So what Lene did is she took this spray and she used the Golden Botanical cardstock, and you can see that there's several shades of green. And she used the dye with several shades of green and created the spray over here. And isn't that a pretty offset to the paper and the doily that I was just doing nice? And then she used a jute bow to tie that together. And of course, we have the jute in a package like that. So that worked nicely. The Sending Warm Thoughts is in a package of dazzles that's called Inside Outside Primary Colors. So the idea of this is that we have the message that can be on the inside, on the outside of the card and on the inside. For instance, sending warm thoughts, then thinking of you. So sending warm thoughts can be on the outside of the card. Thinking of you can be on the inside. I love you on the outside. You are my everything can be on the inside. You make me smile. May all your wishes come true. So that's kind of how this section goes. This one happens to be in blue, green, red, brown, yellow, and black. There are 216 pieces. So that's a mighty chunk of stuff. So that's what she's used on this. So it just really works nicely, doesn't it? And I like how she has the khaki doily going off the edge. Isn't that fun? Really nice. So that spray is beautiful. She just did 3 of them in a very light green and then 2 dark greens. And I love the curve of it. Okay, so that's what else is going on that particular card. Now, I doubt that this is dry because it really hasn't been that long. But let me see. My. Well, it is? Okay, well, let me try it. Okay, now, what the tacky when dry will do is you can, in this case, we're going to foil it. So we have foil, the fabulous foil, which I love because it is 10 feet long and about 4 inches wide. And it comes in lots of colors. I've pulled off the gold. And it's just wonderful. Now I'm hoping this is dry, but it feels like it's dry. It feels like it's tacky. So I'm going to cross my fingers, cross your fingers too, and I'll just try it here. So we just press this down. You can also do this with glue, a glue stick, but of course you can't do it with a stencil. So, okay. Is this going to work? Look. Yay. Let me put this into place. Look at that. How neato, how neato. Why was I worried? Well, I was only worried because I only let it dry for moments. But I did put it on very lightly, and that's nice And I will tell you that jar of tacky when dry goes a long, long way. Isn't that nice? Look how pretty. Guys, you need this. You really do. It's just gorgeous. Okay, now the doily, I was a little more heavy-handed, but let me just try this side. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's there. It's there. Okay. Can you see? How pretty. How pretty. Okay, we're in good shape, folks. Okay, two cards. Now, I think it's, well, we'll just try it. So all you do is just do it with your finger, burnish it down, press it down, lift it up, you're good to go. Yay! Isn't that gorgeous? Now, it did start with pattern cardstock, and a lot of times with stencils, people feel like they need to start with white cardstock, and I'm here to tell you, you don't. So, great. Okay, so we went from here to here. Let's see. Back up. Back the camera up, please. There you go. How gorgeous. Okay, 2 down, 2 to go. I will be right back. Okay, now we are ready to move into our second stencil, and this is the clocks and grid. As you can see, there's 2 clocks and a grid behind it. I've already prepped this, and we are going to work on this card. Now, this is Debbie's, and you can see that this is kind of a grunge look, but she's gone into some bright colors, and I think that's a fun look, and I love how she's added some fun things on the inside of them. So what Debbie is using also is a brand new product on this also. As we get into it, I will show you. This is some Twinkle texture paste, which is brand new to us, and it was just released by Ranger, so in their distress line with Tim Holtz. So what Debbie has told me is she's cut a piece of cardstock. This is 5 by 6.5. And place the stencil as so. And notice that the stencil has a black edge. So I made sure that the white area is within the edge of the stencil. So the cardstock doesn't go out here. It starts right here, okay, right into the live area of the stencil. And I'm going to be using the blending tool with teal. So here is my teal ink pad. We use Hunky Dory's Prism ink pads. They are 1-inch square. They are heavily inked. The ink just lasts a long, long time. They are very economical, and they are our favorite. So that's why we use them. So I'm going to use the blending tool. And I think this is, yes, I'm not sure which I used that on last, so I'm going to get a new one. And I'm just going to ink this and get that taken care of for you. So I'm using the block, looks like. Okay, thread that in and get that all taken care of. And I'm just following, Debbie has given us some brief instructions along with her supply list, so that's helpful. And that is, if you click on the card at the underneath, down below, you'll see that, and you can find the list of supplies that she used, as well as her brief comments, so that will be helpful. And Lene did the exact same thing, so that's nice. So here we go. And so she has said use the blending tool to the teal ink, and then also to leave the stencil in place. So I'm going to do all of this just like she told me. So, and by the way, I have not done this before. I'm doing this for the first time with you. So just so that you know, there's no hedging going on here. Okay, so I'm just doing the bottom part of this stencil and the bottom part of this piece of white cardstock. Okay, so here we go. Now, I'm leaving this in place. Then I'm going to use the palette knife and the twinkle and go over the teal ink. Okay. Okay. Now, here we go. So this is light and fluffy. And this, I'm assuming, being in the name of Twinkle, will have a glittery look. So I guess we'll find out, won't we? Okay, when it's dry. So I'm going to just do it like anything else that I would do that is with a stencil. I just want it to fill in the recessed areas and be solid at the top so that it's I'll hear a scraping sound, much like that. Okay. I probably have way too much out there. Okay, you hear what I mean? You can hear the scraping. Yes, I will be putting much of that back. Oh my. Well, I guess I will be putting it somewhere. Here, let me get some paper towel. Maybe you should make sure that dries before you put the twinkle on. Or maybe you should not put as much twinkle out there as I did. See how good it is to watch someone else do this, and you can learn. Okay, moving along. Now I do want the twinkle to fill the cracks, or fill the empty areas. No cracks, people, just the empty areas. Here we go. Nice and smooth. And as she said, then I will put the mask in my water and my palette knife there too. So see, quite a bit of the blue came. So, okay, my palette knife is going in there. Putting my lid on my twinkle. And I will put my stencil in the water. And it's just a good idea to do that. Now I did lift off my other stencil and wipe it off. And this is what I would expect it to be, is that it's just, I can see the teal. So now we need to let this dry before we can move on. So I'm expecting that this is going to take a bit longer to dry because it's thicker. So what I will do is let this dry and come back to it. Okay, my texture paste has dried and it is sparkly. I will show you that in a little bit. But now I'm going to lift up the stencil and actually remove it. And I'm going to take toasted oat. Now I've actually not used that before. And I'm going to take the finger dabber and I'm going to go over the outside area in the toasted oat. And that's going to give me a yellow area. And I'm not going to do the whole thing because you know, once you've seen that, it's kind of just the same thing all again and again. And as you can see, I'm just filling in that white area. And this part is going to actually be cut off. Now, I've done this in a vertical format, and actually Debbie did it in a horizontal. So you can just do it however you like. And so I would just be doing this all over. And it actually doesn't take very long, so that's very nice. Then I would use, this is vintage rose, and I would use another finger dauber, and I would do the clock. So this is going to be the inner areas of the clock. And you use a finger dauber because you have more control over these tiny areas than you would if you used the blending tool. So that's why this is being used in these areas. And this is, you're using it right over the texture paste. And as you can see, it's just going to fill in these spaces, and it's going to give your clock a pink tinge. And just going to, now you can dab it, and that's what I kind of started doing, but you can really just smoosh it. That is a technical term, by the way. And so I'm just smooshing it all over, and that should not reduce the glittery of our texture paste. And so so then you're going to have the teal, the sparkle, the yellow, and the pink, just like so. Okay, and you can go over it as much as you want to deepen the color or not. So I want to bring in Debbie's finished card and show you what she has. And I guess one other thing I do want to show you, let's get in close so I can show you the sparkle. There you go. So you can see what's going on with the sparkle. And here is her card. So she has placed it on some pattern cardstock, as you can see, and this is one of the die cuts. But what I also love is what she's done on the inside of the clock. She has used, this is the Songs of the Sea. And these are the flowers. These are these tiny flowers, and how fun is that with, she's paired it with our mix of the gears, and that comes in a package. And the gears also have some of the clock hands, and isn't that fun? And you can see how, just what a really nice job the texture paste does, and also, of course, with the stencil. Okay, for our last card, while our third card is drying, our last card, Lene has used a beautiful combination. This is copper penny ink, and it is also with charcoal. So copper penny stencil butter, and that's that flash of color that you're seeing, with charcoal ink pad. And it is all on Steampunk for Everyone colored cardstock. So this is the Steampunk for Everyone, and this is the cardstock that has been used. This is the sheet, kind of blueprints there, and Lene has chosen that. So this is our stencil, and it is the clocks with the grid with it also. And I placed it exactly as Lene did. And so I just want to give you the steps. We're going to take our blending tool and charcoal. So I'm going to do that first and just go over the whole thing with the charcoal. And you can use whatever tool you like. I use what Lene likes, so that's what I'm going to do, and just spread this all over. Now the charcoal is not, although it is in the black family, it is not a real black that's going to really make this so dark. It's just a charcoal, as the name implies. So, and notice that the imagery is going to blend off of the paper. And the paper is designed to fit on a 5 by 6.5 inch card. So if your card is a different size, you may want to adjust accordingly. Whoops. Okay, I failed to glue down my card. I thought it would stay. It didn't. So I will quickly fix that. Okay, I think we're going to be fine, but give me a moment to fix that. Well, and isn't that a good thing to tell you, is to put both of pieces down. Yeah, I did that on purpose. Sure I did. Okay. Let's see if that's enough. Okay. So circular motion. See if how much damage I did. Oops. Usually I don't do the whole piece, but in this case I am. If you've not used stencil butter before, you're in for a treat. It does need to dry. The only trick about it is that you want to make sure to get your stencil in water. Do not let it dry because it's not friendly to stencils after it dries. So you do want to have water available. I have a plastic container with water over on the side, and that will just take care of things. Okay, well, I have done that. Now I'm not going to lift this up. I usually would, but the next step is to apply the copper penny stencil butter. And I'm going to apply that over the clock and just a little bit over here, just a dab right there, a little bit in the corners, just as Lene has done. So let me show you her card. And look at what a flash that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, now open this up. You do want a palette knife. And let me just show you, in case you haven't seen stencil butter, it's like frosting. It's just beautiful, and it will last and last and last because you don't need much. Now, because this is a curved surface, I'm not going to put very much on because I want to be careful not to get any out of the curved surface. So I just want to make sure that I'm spreading this carefully, okay? So I'm not holding my breath, but a little bit. So here we go. I have a nice edge there that I can go around. And just make sure. Now, I suppose if you wanted to be super safe, you could put some masking tape around there or stencil tape or something. That would be fine. This is quite a big space now that I'm looking at it. You have of the stencil butter, that, of course, that's what makes it so striking. So now you do also want to make sure that it dries. And how long it takes to dry is really dependent on how thick you make it. And it's only should be as thick as the stencil is, as I'm sure you know. So just kind of going drips and drabs around it. Now, I really don't want to take the time for you to watch me fill this up because that's not the most exciting watching. So you're just going to keep, filling it, moving this around. And one nice thing about having this on a craft mat is that you can move the mat, and that will work nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to continue filling this, and like I said, I am not going to have you watch as I complete this, but we're going to go back to the project. One other thing, I just want to tell you that you'll just scrape it and, just keep filling it as you scrape it. But as I said, kind of one of the most important things is get that stencil back into water, okay? So I'm just want to share with you the other thing that's happening with this piece is that There is, this is a cutout out of the Steampunk for Everyone. This is a straight line dazzle right here. This is a border that's out of the paper. This is also a cutout out of the paper. And Happy Birthday. Happy Birthday is out of this pack of dazzles. There are 96, and there are different sheets in here in different colors. As you can see, purple is one of them, black is another. And this is a gold stud, and isn't that appropriate in a center of a clock? And you can see how this is smooth when it dries, and it will be smooth because I'll keep making it smooth. So just quite beautiful. So that's a great way to use that stencil. Just beautiful, isn't it? And how fun to let it go off the edge. Beautifully done. Okay, we'll be right back. So we have two stencils this month. We have the clocks and grid, and we also have the diamond pattern. And every month we are doing two different stencils. And what I love is that you're going to get two very different looks. So this month with this, these are the two different looks that you got with each of the stencils. And I think you will agree that these two are very different. These two are very different. And the techniques are very different. We've got the gold pen, we've got the tacky when dry and the gold foil. We have the texture, glitter. We also have the stencil butter going on there, as well as the ink pads. But just a lot of really fun techniques, and that's what this is all about, is that stencils are great on their own, but having these products and these techniques is what really makes them, and that's what we're learning together in all of this. Now, if this is fun for you, as it is for me, we have something that we offer, and that is a subscription. And this is what it looks like. So Stencils and Stuff is a subscription, and we are doing it every single month. If you are interested, you can sign up for this. It is on the right-hand side of our screen, which is where we keep everything, including the money saver. I'll tell you about that in just a second. But the subscription, you're going to get at least two stencils every month. These are the two you're going to get this month. It's going to be flat fee of $15, and you're going to get a free goodie. The free goodie this month is the straight line dazzles. It's this straight line dazzle, and that's just going to be very useful. And you will receive your two stencils and your free goodie before the webisode. That way you have a chance to play with it and see what you can do, and then we'll show you what the design team has come up with. And that is really fun. So that's good. If you're interested, you can do that, and on the right-hand side of the screen. And the money saver for this is also on the right-hand side of your screen. So that's good. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, we would love it if you would subscribe to the YouTube, then head on over to Paper Wishes. We are getting these stencils from a lot of different companies, from hot off the press. These happen to be from Studio Light. We are searching the planet for unique stencils, so we're just going to get them from lots of different companies, and just like we're getting all of these products from a lot of different companies. So we're constantly searching for unique and wonderful things, so as you can tell from what the design team has been using, so that's really fun. If you are watching this on YouTube, as I said, we hope that you will head on over to Paper Wishes, and the designers have written pertinent information. You can see it down below, and just click on the cards and you can see that, and that will do you in good stead. You can also see the individual cards and the list of materials that they have used, so that'll be good for you too. I want to thank both Lene and Debbie for just doing an absolutely wonderful job, and I want to thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.